What's going on, everybody? Got another small comic haul video for you. This one, all these books I picked up from a flea market just south of Louisville in Shepherdsville last weekend. It's called the Awesome Flea Market. It's right off the Expressway. They've got about two or three booths that have comic books. I picked all this stuff up from one booth. All these books were $1 a piece, except for the second to last one I have was $10, but I'll talk about that when I get to it. Starting off with some Hawk and Dove. This was the New 52 run that Robert Liefeld did. Um, he started off his first miniseries, I think, was Hawk and Dove from like '89. He did a 5 issue miniseries for them, and then went over to Marvel right after that to start working on New Mutants. And I think he actually did some X Factor work, some spot work for X-Men too, and then he's got the regular gig for New Mutants and X Force, and then went on to Image. But he started at his first regular run was at DC on Hawk and Dove, and then he came back in 2011, just about 20, a little after 20 years from that first run to do another. I think he did an 8 issue miniseries. So I've got picked up number one a couple months ago, so I picked up number two here. Also picked up number three and number four. So I think I've got 1 through 5 now, so there's only a few other ones that I need to complete this run. So one thing I do like about Liefeld, people give him a lot of crap and everything for his art style and whatever. He can't draw feet, whatever. I don't care about that. But one thing I do like about him, he still does draw the interiors. A lot of the popular artists nowadays, they just do covers. They don't do the pencil work on the interior of the books, but Liefeld still does that. He did the pencils on this whole Hawk and Dove miniseries. He just finished up a Snake Eyes miniseries, a GI Joe Snake Eyes Dead Game. He did all the pencil work. That was a 5 issue miniseries. He did all that too. So I do miss that. When I came back into comics last year, that was one of the first things I noticed was a lot of the popular cover artists. They don't all they do are covers. They don't do interior art. So it's kind of hard to find new artists to follow. I think that might be why just covers sell books now more than they used to, I think, but who knows. And picked this one up, Claws of the Panther. This was a Shuri miniseries. I think this ran 4 issues. I just picked this up because I had never seen it before, and everything Shuri's going crazy right now. So this miniseries you can still find in the back issue bins for. This one was $1. You can still I've seen them for cover price too, so $2 or $3, whatever that is. So I just picked this one up. Just number one. They still had 2, 3, and 4 there, I think, but I left those behind. I mean, they were only $1. I could have probably picked up the whole run. Probably should have. Never leave a book behind. That's one thing I've learned, but who knows. This next set of books is for some Armor Wars spec that I'm doing. The series is going to come out next year, I think, in 2022. So you can still find a lot of the books for cheap that were in the actual Armor Wars arc in Iron Man. This first one, though, this was not part of the Armor Wars arc. This is 217. This is actually the first appearance of Marcy Pearson. She starts off as like Tony Stark's personal assistant at Stark Enterprises, and then becomes a love interest of Rhodey. So I picked this one up on the just on the chance that she's kind of a through line through the Armor Wars story. She's in almost excuse me, she's in almost every single issue, and she does, like I said, become the love interest of Rhodey. So she might make an appearance in the series. I'm not too sure. She could be like Rhodey's Pepper Potts. She like starts off as a assistant and then moves up within Stark Enterprises. I'm not too sure, but just pick this one up. Like I said, $1. The weird thing about this one, there's no barcode. There's no like Spider-Man or Captain America head in the corner for direct edition. So I thought that was interesting. I'm not sure where this one came from. This is 226 Iron Man. So this is actual second part of the first Armor Wars storyline. So the Armor Wars storyline is basically Tony Stark gets paranoid because somebody stole his tech, and so he starts fighting every armored superhero or armored, you know, person in the Marvel universe and wants to know if they used his tech, because he doesn't want criminals using his tech against innocent people. So each issue is basically him fighting another armored superhero or armored soldier. This first one, he fights Stingray. Stingray is a good guy. He actually ends up. They find out that he didn't steal Tony's tech, so he just kind of lets him go. But they fight, but he doesn't get killed or anything. He just kind of fight, and then that's it. 227. So this one, Tony fights the Shield's Mandroid. Their power armors. There's a few. I think there's 2 or 3 in there that he fights. The interesting thing about this, the wiki that I was looking at for first appearance to see if there's any other first appearances in this, it says it's got the first appearance of Michael J. Fox, Don Johnson, Donald Trump, and Hulk Hogan. And I looked through the issue, and if you open up to the first page here, the wiki had this guy as Hulk Hogan. He says body slam, use a body slam. So yeah, I can kind of see that. The next page we've got, that's Don Johnson. He says something about something like this would never happen in Miami. And this is definitely Michael J. Fox. He's got a line about probably go to the future and back in that. But I didn't see Donald Trump. The only thing I could find reference to him was Tony's on a date later in the issue, and they're walking around New York, and they stop in front of Trump Tower here to go get some ice cream or something. So I looked through the book a few times. I couldn't see anything with Donald Trump in it or anybody that looks like Donald Trump. So I'm thinking maybe one of these people in the party that's getting crashed, that might be Donald Trump, but I couldn't find him. No direct reference to him, at least. So who knows? This one is 228. He's got a brief fight with Captain America in this. He basically just gasses him and knocks him out. They don't actually do any battling or fighting or anything like they did in Civil War. No actual hand-to-hand combat or anything. It's just kind of Tony sneaks into a prison and battles a bunch of guardsmen. They're like prison guards in armor. So that's who he fights, and then Captain America shows up to stop him, and then he gets gassed and put to sleep. This one is 229. This one, Tony travels to Russia. He fights, Crimson Dynamo and Titanium Man. And I think he actually kills the Titanium Man. I can't remember. But this one, there might be something in this one eventually with Black Widow, who's coming out recently, and Red Guardian and that. They might do some stuff in Russia over there for the Armor Wars series. Not too sure. Last one here is 231. Now this is the last issue of the Armor Wars run. There is one in 232 is kind of an epilogue. It's kind of a dream sequence. But this one is there's actual plot in this. So the public thinks that Iron Man is dead because his armor got blown up in the last issue, and him going around fighting a bunch of people has basically knocked him down in the public's eye. So it's kind of okay that Iron Man was destroyed, because in this universe the public doesn't know that Tony Stark is Iron Man. They just know that Iron Man kind of works for Stark Industries. So he's been getting a lot of bad press, or Stark Industries has. So there's a funny moment in here where his assistant, Marcy Pearson, she says that they should get a new spokesman, a less controversial spokesman. Where is it? Because he's been getting so much bad press lately. They need someone new. And let's see. You can see that it's head of public relations. I suggest a new corporate spokesman, someone a little less controversial than Iron Man. Why don't I contact Bill Cosby's agent? So, don't think that would be less controversial today, but it would be kind of hilarious if they mentioned that in the series, but I highly doubt it. So that was all the Iron Man Armor Wars books that I got. This is I don't know if it's the first appearance, but he creates the new armor here that you can see it on the cover, that gold and red. It's more like the MCU armor that we've seen a lot. So that was interesting. So that's all the Iron Man stuff. I don't know if any of these are gonna do anything. Like I said, I think the only one that might go up is probably at 217, just because it's the first appearance of Marcy Pearson. But you can find all these for $1 a piece still everywhere. Next book is Next Wave Agents of Hate #1. Picked up another copy of this. Love Warren Ellis. I really enjoyed this first issue, so just picked up another one because this is I think this is first Elsa Bloodstone in Marvel continuity, so I'll hang on to one and try to sell one if she ever comes to the MCU. The next one is Next Wave Agents of Hate #5. This is a variant. This is a coloring book. What is it called? Crayons variant. You can see it's just everything's black and white. It's just pencils. So I guess there's some inking too, but I guess the conceit is you can give it to your kid and they can color it, or you can color it if you want. Why not? So that was $1. I picked it up. This book is the one that I paid for. I paid $10 for this, the Oblivion Song #1. And this was going nuts last week. The news came out that it had been optioned for a movie. So it was selling between, $30 and $50 for raw copies. So I picked this one up for $10 out there. It's come back to earth a little bit. It's only going for, 15 to 25 now, but that's kind of how it works. Once there's like any other news, it'll spike again. So I'm just happy to pick this up for $10 because it probably won't be that cheap again. And then the last one, picked this one up for $1. It is Superman 75. This is the 4th print, so just picked this one up. I don't have anyone in the bag anymore. I'm hoping to find one of the ones in the bag eventually. There were so many of those, but I'm not going to pay more than $1 for it. So this is the 4th print. It's a little harder to come by, so I picked this one up too because, iconic stories. This and the Batman Nightfall stuff were big events when I was collecting as a kid, so I'm trying to piece all those together. And luckily, they're pretty cheap, so I'm having pretty good success. That's the last book in my haul, so thanks for watching, and see you guys later.